my friends, I couldn't help but, as I was reading this gospel this past week, why did only 3 people notice the star? Everybody saw it. Why did only 3 take notice? Criminologists say that many crimes, especially sensational ones, are craving for being noticed. In the depths of their warped minds, my friends, especially these killings, now I guess the world would sit up and take notice. Simply, they want to be noticed. Also, reading polls of husband and wives and the common complaints against each other, in usually the top 3 complaints or problems in a marriage is what? And I don't want any answers, my friends. Please. Not being noticed or taken for granted is always in the top 3, if not the top spot. Do those 2 people love each other? Sure. But life takes over, doesn't it? And other things seem to take prominence and of importance. And it's the same with the church. Yeah, church is important, but sometimes we just come and go. What happens when we allow this to happen in our life? There's something that's very negative that happens when we start doing this. A king had 2 servants, and he said to the first one, he said, I want you to come back, take 3 months, and I want you to bring back a sample of every weed that you find. Which he did. The second servant he called in, he said, I want you to 3 months, I want you to go through my kingdom, and I want you to bring back every flower that you see. And he did. 3 months later, they both stood before the king, and separately, of course, with big, huge bags. The first one said, I have a couple bags here of weeds. He said, I couldn't believe how many weeds there were in your kingdom. He said, in fact, there was nothing but weeds in your kingdom. The second one came in with a whole couple bagfuls of flowers, all beautiful, different types of flowers. And he said the same thing. He said, I couldn't believe how many flowers were in your kingdom. He said, in fact, I saw nothing but flowers in your kingdom. Both of the servants found what they were looking for, didn't they, my friends? They found what they were looking for. They found what they were trying to notice. You see, when we start taking things for granted, my friends, what do we usually see? Weeds, right? Weeds. We see it in family life, and we see it in the church. When we don't see or value what we're doing here in a very good way, what do? All the weeds in the church. It's all we see. Look at these problems here, problems there, doing this, doing that. So something of great value becomes diminished with negativity. Isn't that amazing how that works? And it can happen so quickly and so easily and so innocently, my friends. So innocently. Look what these 3 men did. I mean, it's incredible. They traveled months and months and months. And you see one word there. They were overjoyed. They were overjoyed. When we start noticing, my friends, something happens within us. They were overjoyed when they saw the star. There's a wife that bought his husband a traveling kit. He smoked, and he put his cigarettes in this lighter in this case that would glow in the dark. And the day after Christmas, he said to his wife, he said, I love this gift. He said, but it's not glowing in the dark. And his wife and they started looking at it, and inside this box was this little piece of paper that was taped to the inside of the wall. And it said, if you want me to shine in the night, keep me in the sunlight throughout the day. My friends, and it's like our faith. All through these readings talks about light. A star, what's a star do? Shines in the dark. First reading talked about the incredible value of light. That's what the value of faith does. In the darkest part of our times and our lives, my friends, our faith is the only thing that can be a light. But it can only happen, my friends, when we let that sunlight in during the day. We need to notice and practice our faith, don't we? We need to notice the value of something before we can be overjoyed at seeing the light. So this week, my friends, it's a good thing for us to just reflect on the beginning of a year. The Magi, they noticed the star and they were overjoyed. May we do the same. God bless you.